Hello, doing a quick brew day. Wanted to make a porter. Never done a porter before, so it'll be interesting. Kind of a London-y type of stout. Let me show you the recipe. I've got about 80% Maris Otter, 6.5% of chocolate, 6.5% of what's that? That's just 400%, 400 ABV, ABC crystal malt, and there's some biscuit malt as well. I've had to grind that in my coffee bill because I wanted a whole grain biscuit, but hopefully that will do the job. That's for today's brew. It's 5.3% ABV, top end of the style. The EBC about 5.6 or 56. IBUs 34, all about the top end. I'll show you the stats in a minute. And yeah, it's the same thing with that. Going to use some East Kent Goldings to bitter, and that's about it really. Mashing schedule is going to be 1050 for 30 minutes. 50 Celsius for 30 minutes. 45 minutes at 64 centigrade and mash out at 75. Going to boil for an hour, and as I said, I'll stick some hops at the start, boil that off, and then I may stick a bit more hops in the end just to get a bit of aroma. And that's my porter recipe. Let me show you the recipe on the computer thing. Okay, so I thought I'd quickly go for the recipe. Let's have a look, go back to the design. There we are. Okay, so 375 of, well, this is a 20 litre batch. So 3.75 of pound malt, biscuit malt, 30 grams, or 300 grams, crystal malt, 300 grams. That's quite a dark chocolatey crystal malt. And I went out of chocolate malt, I only put 240 grams in there. I'm quite confident we'll get a lot more chocolatey flavour out of this caramel crystal malt, though. It's got lots of that going for it. I might have actually just said that I was going to bitter East Kent Goldings, but as you'll notice later on, I actually did use Summit, just not a nice high ABV, slightly American hop, but I don't think the Americanness will come through. It'll just obviously just bitter up, maybe a bit more citrusy flavour there. So hopefully we can that'll actually complement the chocolatey kind of thing. So you get maybe a bit chocolatey orange, just lemony orange type of flavour. Just interested to see how it comes out. East Kent Goldings to bitter up. I still goes in a whirlpool, and I've been just fermented off with some Safel 04. Here are the stats: 1050, 33 IBUs, 56 EBC. Targeting 5.2%. It might be a bit slightly less than that though. We'll soon see, won't we? Match schedule, as I just said, I'm doing a excuse me, protein versus sacrification wet rest at 64 for those timings there, as you can see. And that's about it. Let's go back to the brew day. Okay, so I mashed in. Nothing special here, I just pulled it all in, give it a bit of a jiggle really. Tell the system it's all ready to go. And there we go, the mash is going. Today, any slight difference in my water treatment is I'm not using any acid in here, but there's plenty enough dark malts to actually dissolve, well, bring the pH down to the right level. I used some bit of baking soda, and also I used about a bit of what's the other stuff? I used some magnesium sulfate. There we are. I did grind some, so I ground my my biscuit malt in here, so I might get a little bit more mixture of this stuff going through, but we'll see how it comes out. So about 30 minutes into the boil, all looking good. Yeah, so some stats. So far, anyway, 84% efficiency on the mash, which was good. I think it was 1043 ABV, which is quite good. I'm shooting for a final gravity of something 1052 or something like that. So it's looking good so far. I've cleaned all the mushroom stuff up. Got the grains here. I'll dump those out tomorrow when there's food recycling. And as I said, I got the first load of hops in. The first load of hops I'm using is some. Oh gosh, I think it was some American hop, maybe Columbus. I'm just using a generic bittering hop to get it up, and we'll give it a nice bit, maybe a bit of citrusy flavour to complement the chocolatey flavour there, perhaps. But that might be all gone. Just end up as being bitterness to expect. I'm going to whirlpool with another 20 grams of East Kent Goldings at the end. So I thought I would finish off that video, but I didn't do it in the end. It's been about a week now. The beer's fermented out really nicely. I think it's finished off the main part of the fermentation, and it's just going down to maybe a bubble every 50 minutes, 56 seconds or so, which is good. I did a diet. It's actually the day before Christmas Eve, so it's just over a week and 1 day over the brew day now. So I brought it up to about 21.5 centigrade for about 24 hours. I just brought it down to about 20 now. I'm going to leave it at that for a few more days until the fermentation completely stops. Then I'll take a specific gravity. No rush for this, because most porters generally need to be conditioned for about 3 months or something like that. I'm not going to leave it that long. I think I will carb it up and leave it for maybe a couple of weeks and give it a test, and then I'll just let it sit around for a little bit longer. I wanted to stick this one in for the national, so we'll see how it goes. In the end, the brew day, I was looking for something like 1050, and I got 1048, which is still within what I was looking for. Obviously, I think because efficiency is quite high, I'm going to get a bit more volume of liquid. One thing I did find was that once I had once I'd put my cooling element in, the boil just completely died and just never really recovered and started getting back as vigorous as it did when, obviously, in the 45 minutes before I put the coil in. So I think I'm gonna. I've had this before now as well. I've put a cooler in. It just hasn't done anything. I haven't been running any water around this kind of thing, so a little bit disappointed with that. I don't know whether I think what's happening is the copper is actually sucking the heat out of the water as it's boiling, and obviously it adds this kind of heat sink, which normally I think it's just the barometer needs just a little bit more power to actually get it to just get to the boil. One thing I intended to do for the new year is to buy a cake for it. 2 reasons. One, so I can get a much more rigorous boil. It's just a bit mediocre at the moment, so I want to really pump it up a little bit and get it going. I was looking forward to actually looking forward to asking Santa to get me one, but I'm consulting the supply levels in the UK. There does not seem to be any around. I think I looked down for UK and they said not until the end of
January, stuff like that. I didn't expect any stock. I didn't. I sort of held back. I mean, it was a bit too late. I was thinking about doing it, so that's one reason I want to get one. And the second reason is so I could actually attach a pipe to the top, and I could actually, if I do a brew day inside, I could attach a pipe to the top, add an inline fan, and then I can use that to extract steam. So I don't have such a steamy house. I would still have the door open, but I would obviously try to pipe it all out. Maybe. But also another advantage of doing that is if it does rain when it's outside, you don't get rain and stuff going into it, which I don't think is a major concern really. Anyway, what else? You can also use it for filling as well. You can just it'll act like a big funnel, and you can just poke it into your water, invert it, and just juggle your water, and off you go. Really, and you haven't got to worry about it going over the sides. So yes, a little investment for New Year. So I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully see how that comes along. I haven't seen many people using them. I think we've seen one guy in the UK using it, but I definitely know they do boost the ball speed, and yeah, looking forward to that. Okay, so next thing with this beer, I'm going to be most likely kegging it up towards the end of this week. If I'm around, I might be away in the between Christmas and New Year, so I will see. I might just leave it in the fridge out there and let it finish off completely. Always have problems with diactyl in my beer, so I'm always a bit paranoid, and I just want to make sure it's completely finished out there. So I'll just give it a bit more time, maybe. No rush. It'll happily sit on the yeast for a few weeks until it's ready. And that's it. I'm going to sign off. I think the ending ABV, as I said, was 1048, but I think it's repeated that. Okay, well, please like, subscribe, and share. Leave any questions down below, and I'll hopefully see you all soon. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.